Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome, I'm Badri Muhammad Hassan and you are watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television. These are the stories making headlines. Somaliland's House of Representatives voted on recent cabinet appointment made by the President of Somaliland. Minister of Finance holds televised meeting with members of Somaliland's general public. US considers narrow attack on Syria. Somaliland's House of Representatives voted on recent cabinet appointments made by the President of Somaliland, Ahmed Mohamed Mahmoud Silayo.
The voting session, which had the entire House in attendance, concluded with a unanimous vote. The recent appointments made by the President of Somaliland, Ahmed Silayo, took place to prompt further productivity throughout governmental institutions. The voting session, chaired by Speaker of Somaliland's House of Representatives, Abdirahman Abdullahi Iro, passed all the appointees with a unanimous vote. A similar vote took place yesterday whereby a group of other appointed ministers were approved in a voting session held at Somaliland's House of Representatives.
Somaliland's Minister of Finance, Abdulaziz Mohamed Saleh, spoke to the members of the public at the Somaliland National Headquarters. The Minister of Finance addressed a number of issues pertaining project completed, ongoing programs and prospective plans. Minister Abdulaziz Mohamed Saleh stated that this administration had made it a priority to implement several key reforms that continue to fuel emerging markets. He added that the additional focus on strengthening the nation's currency, collecting taxes and providing more to the rural development of Somaliland. The minister answered a number of questions from concerned citizens, supporters and general spectators. Minister Abdulaziz Mohamed Saleh emphasized the great importance of genuine cooperation between the citizens and government as the foundation to national progress initiatives. Igal International Airport has reopened, and in an historical day, the largest Ethiopian airline carrier landed.
The 783 Boeing is one of the largest Ethiopian airline carriers. It's the first landing of its kind in Somaliland, and was welcomed warmly by top officials of Somaliland's Ministry of Aviation and Air Transport. Minister of Aviation and Air Transport Mahmoud Hashi Abdi, speaking to the media, stated that it's an historical day for Somaliland, a day in which both nations, Ethiopia and Somaliland, exhibit their strong cooperative relationship. The Minister of Aviation and Air Transport also informed the media that tremendous changes have taken place in the nation's aviation sector since this administration took office, and this is a testament of the fulfilling of pledges by Kumia political party. The captain of the 783 Boeing flight also spoke to the media.
A graduation took place at Umar ibn al-Abdul Aziz Intermediate School.
Some of the distinguished guests present at the graduation ceremony included tribal and cultural leaders, education professionals, parents, as well as a wide array of other esteemed individuals. Abdirahman Mahmoud Salaban, the principal of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz Intermediate School, opened the ceremonial event with initial remarks. He elaborated on the obstacles initially faced and progress made for this educational institution to reach its current stage of progress. He commended the efforts of the top 3 students who received their graduation certificates. Sultan Hira, a tribal leader, also provided brief remarks. He congratulated the students who excelled and provided words of encouragement for them as well to continue their studies and work even harder in the future. The top 3 students, Abdul Wahab Ismail Ali, Abdul Karim Ahmed Sahardid, and Abdullahi Dahir Mohammed, received gifts for their rankings.
You are still watching the English news program on Somaliland National Television, the only Somali-speaking channel with an English news program. And now for our international headlines in detail. The U.S. government is considering on implementing a narrow attack on Syria, according to U.S. President Barack Obama.
The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said on Friday that the dead included 426 children. In his speech at the State Department, he described the attack as an inconceivable horror. President Barack Obama later said the U.S. was considering a limited narrow attack in response to the attack, which posed a challenge to the world. We are not considering any kind of military action that involves boots on the ground or a long-term campaign, he said. But Obama said the use of chemical weapons threatens U.S. national security and merits a response. The Syrian foreign minister has dismissed Kerry's statement as full of lies, based on fabricated evidence, insisting the rebels carried out the deadly attack. State-run news agency SANA said Kerry, who cited a U.S. intelligence report, was using material based on old stories that terrorists have been circulating for more than a week. A team of UN experts finished gathering evidence of the alleged poison gas attacks. The United Nations announced on Friday, though envoys say analyzing samples may take weeks.
In Congo, government troops regained strong ground from M23 rebels.
Bertrand Bisimwa, the civilian president of M23, said on Friday that his troops were withdrawing in order to allow what he called independent verifiers to enter the area of the battle to assess where shells had fallen in the nearby city of Goma and across the border in Rwanda. He denied that the troops were withdrawing because of battlefield casualties, an assertion that the government made. Bisimwa did not clarify how far back the M23 rebels would be withdrawing. The withdrawal comes a day after a UN peacekeeper was killed and another 7 wounded in fighting between the M23 and UN-assisted Congolese forces. The fighting was some of the fiercest in the week since the newly created UN Intervention Brigade went on the offensive, and one Tanzanian peacekeeper was killed after the rebels aimed artillery fire at their position, the UN said in a statement. The UN said on Thursday that it had established that there were consistent and credible reports of Rwandan troops entering the Democratic Republic of Congo to back the M23 rebels.
That's the end of our news. Until next time, goodbye.